The Denver Broncos just made an important signing, and we have cap room to spare. How much space do we have left? What type of player could we get with the remaining cap space? It's actually great news. The Vegas Raiders continue to just boggle the mind, making Raider moves. Some players could be falling to us as others who we have no business drafting are jumping up into the top 10. Phenomenal news. And we have ChatGPT back at it again, dogging this Denver Broncos franchise and Sean Payton, and we need to come to their defense. If you're new to the channel, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan named Ben, and it helps me and the algorithm out a ton if you would like and subscribe. But even more than that today, I'm a ball knower, but I have only watched a single game of college football all year, so I need to know in the comments, who should I pick to win the NCAA Tournament, which kicks off tomorrow. I typically just pick Duke. Is that a good move? I truly have only watched one game all year, so let me know who you picking to win the whole thing, and let's dive in here. So the Denver Broncos had Riley Dixon, who started the year off fairly hot and picked a horrible time to have a horrible last couple games. He was shanking them left and right, and it felt like it was just, you went from having an all-pro punter to, man, there was times in that Cincinnati game, I remember Sire Bettinger being all over it, being like, man, we picked a bad time to have a bad game. Or maybe it was the San Diego game. He was just shanking them all over the place. So the Denver Broncos went out and got a familiar face to Darren Rizzi. Rizzi, of course, is the guy that Sean Payton wanted all along when he started making moves on our special teams crew last year. And so we got Hack Attack, veteran punter, a left-footed punter, Matt Haack, who's jumped around the league in a couple different places. Obviously see him here in a Carolina uniform. Now, a punter isn't like that exciting. There is just this one cool thing where he did throw a touchdown pass in the NFL when he was with the Miami Dolphins. So did Sean Payton find his joker in our punter? I don't think he did. That was a joke. But interesting that we made that move. And if you take a look at this left-footed punter and you compare him against all of the 34 people who punted this year, his gross average was 18th. His net average, he was 31 out of 34. He had 11% of his kicks were touchbacks. So obviously you're not thrilled about this performance, but you hope at altitude, a directional kicker that Rizzi wanted and had his eye on all along. I think we bring in and have a punting competition in training camp. But it's fun to have a punting competition and not a quarterback competition. Now, the real news of the day is that the Broncos have room to spare. Like, getting a punter is not our last move we're going to make in free agency. As of right now, we have almost $18 million in cap space remaining. And if you take a look at how our free agents who are fantastic, actually their cap hit was, you're looking at DJ Jones was our biggest cap hit at 6.6. And this is what I was telling you guys about. When you have a rich owner who can throw a cash bonus at it, it spreads the cap hit out. And so the fact that you're getting Hufanga this year on a $3.4 million hit is wild work. And that's just how the contracts are structured. So knowing that we have about $18 million to play with, you're probably needing about 8 or 9 of those, that $8 or $9 million to sign this year's rookie class, depending on, are we trading back up into the first round? Are we trading back? Like, depending on where players get drafted and what position determines how much they get paid. So they're saying about $8 million or $9 million to sign this year's draft class. So the Broncos certainly have enough room to make another splash here in free agency. If they don't spend all of their cap, it rolls over into next year. But I have got to think that after taking on all that Russell Wilson dead cap hit, I don't think we're going to further penalize ourselves and not spend every single penny we have now. Also important to note that if we do renegotiated deals with Benito or Zach Allen or Cortland Sutton, that actually could free up even more cap space this year. So we could have room for a mega move. And so I think there is still very much in play a move that we could get J.K. Dobbins, we could get Keenan Allen or Amari Cooper, or who else is out there that people are talking about? Stephon Diggs. Now, I want to be careful that we keep our culture intact, but let me know in the comments, of those 4, Allen, J.K. Dobbins, Cooper, or Stephon Diggs, who would you be most excited about? Or do you think, hey, let's roll that into next year and roll strong with who we have and renegotiate those dudes? So now we got to get into just the absolute smear campaign that you just see growing here in Denver. And you see some refutation of that smear campaign that we've heard time and time again. Evan Ingram picked us over his other team. Deebo Samuel wanted to come here. Cooper Kupp wanted to come here. DJ Jones wanted to come here when he was having San Fran call him. We heard Dre Greenlaw even got his former team to call him and say, I want to be in Denver. Sorry, I'm not coming back to San Francisco. And so I just love here that you're now seeing on 9 News, Mike Kliss writing that there's a growing sense across the NFL that the Denver Broncos are a destination again. And this is something we have not had since Peyton Manning. So imagine next year, Bo Nix takes another step forward. Our defense continues to ball out. We have fantastic contracts, and we have 0 dead cap next year from the Russell Wilson deal. We're off the Randy Gregory deal. The sky could not be bluer here in the Mile High City, and it's just amazing to see. We've had so many reporters when all those coaches were going elsewhere. Dudes were going, or our tight end coach went to Chicago. We had, what's his name, went to the Lions, and people were being like, everybody wants to jump off Sean Payton's sinking ship. And now, like, that narrative is done, and Denver is a destination, and that's why we are all so hyped. Now, there was even more ChatGPT slander of this team, as the Bleacher Report was talking about how Matthew Golden, the Texas wide receiver who had like a crazy 40 time and just blazing fast speed, people are saying he could be Tyreek Hill. And in their evaluation of why the Broncos wouldn't get Golden, they're saying they wouldn't get Golden because Bo Nix doesn't have the arm talent to use his downfield playmaking. And it's just like, am I taking crazy pills? Did no one watch us? And this isn't like the Denver Nuggets where it's like the games don't start till 10 o'clock Eastern time. We were in primetime games, and I cannot wait for this narrative officially to be put to death. When the schedule gets released in a couple of weeks here, I expect the Broncos to have at least 5 games in primetime because of how we played. And we just take a look at the stats here, dude. Like, what part of this makes you feel like he doesn't have downfield arm talent? That he was 3rd in the entire NFL for deep passes this year. Like, he's not a noodle arm. He's not a check down merchant. He's got a rocket arm and crazy mobility that none of us saw coming. Like, we could play these highlights literally all day of Bo Nix. You're looking at the air yardage of this throw here against the Cincinnati Bengals. And remember, Bo Nix also led a touchdown drive with like a minute and 20 seconds left, mostly through the air. So he is literally standing on the 40-yard line, and he yeets it all the way. And it's like Mims barely gets his feet in. So you were talking about and the end zone is what, 10 yards? So you were talking about that ball went 70 yards in the air. But yeah, I guess, guys, ChatGPT says Bo Nix just doesn't have the arm talent to throw the ball downfield. Get out of here, man. What a joke. Speaking of joke, the Las Vegas Raiders continue to make Raider moves. There is now a growing sentiment in Vegas that the Vegas Raiders are going to make a move to get Pickens into the wide receiver from the Steelers to come join Geno Smith, maybe Shedeur Sanders in Las Vegas, and they are going to make a trade with the Steelers. Remember, the Steelers went out and got DK Metcalf. It sounds like Aaron Rodgers might be going there. But, dude, you want to talk about a guy who tanks a locker room? Look no further than Pickens. Like, he is a head case, and it's happened each and every year where he's writing stuff on his eye black, dogging his quarterback, saying, like, feed me the ball. There was the time Mike Tomlin had to address him in a meeting because he stopped blocking on a goal line play where if he just puts one hand on a guy, you have Najee Harris walking into the end zone. So please, Vegas, help us out and make this move, because I think you're going to see Patrick Surtain lock him down, and he's going to continue to tank whatever it is you think you're building there with the Vegas Raiders. Another fantastic piece of good news, as the Broncos are hoping for, obviously the biggest hope is that Ashton Jeanty falls to us at 20. People think I'm ridiculous because now you're hearing that the New England Patriots could get him at 4. But if we want Ashton Jeanty to fall to us, then we need at least 3 quarterbacks to go in that top 20. And there's now some talk here that Jackson Dart could end up jumping up into the top 20, and the Giants might get him if they lose out on Ward and on Shedeur Sanders. I'm here for it, so let's all act like that Jackson Dart is a first-round draft pick. Just say it enough, and maybe ChatGPT will pick it up and run a story on it. So let me know in the comments, like, what do you think about that? Do you think he hops in? Do we end up getting Ashton Jeanty? Like, oh, just a pipe dream. Broncos country, we've got so much to Bo-LIEVE. Oh, dude, that one felt like one shining moment. Oh, it's cutting out. Sorry.